This is your ultimate stop for everything sports. The Golden State Media Concepts Sports Podcast. Should I say more? From the NFL, MLB, the NBA to MMA, it's all in here. The Golden State Media Concepts Sports Podcast. Listen now.
All right, and welcome to the GSMC Sports Podcast. This episode is brought to you by the GSMC Podcast Network, and as always, I am your host, Jesse Tapia. All right, if you looked at the title, this is episode 300. All right, pretty big accomplishment. I haven't been here for 300 episodes. I've only been here since episode 238. That was my first episode doing the podcast. All right, so I've been around for that long, but nonetheless, podcast has been around. The sports podcast has been around for 300 episodes. So nice little accomplishment there for the people before me and for, I guess, whoever else is here doing it too. All right, so yeah, episode 300. Do we have anything special? We're talking NBA first segment. Second segment, we're going to talk NFL news. Third segment, we're going to talk about the Pelicans. All right, how good actually are the Pelicans? We're going to be talking about Anthony Davis getting hurt. I saw that yesterday. I got the update on my phone because I was watching the Cavs and Nuggets game. I got the update on my phone saying Anthony Davis left the game with an ankle injury. I was like, this better not be it. All right, Anthony Davis cannot get hurt. Right now, the Pelicans are playing good basketball. They're playing so well, they have me thinking what they could actually do in the playoffs, all right? And I'm not going to go giving any hot takes or anything like that, like Skip Bayless or Stephen A. Smith or any of those guys, but I'm going to talk a bit about them, talk about how well they've been playing, all right? Because like the Pelicans, like it's not like they're just one of those middle-of-the-pack type teams. They're actually a good team. You got Drew Holiday who's playing well. You know, I think we're just going to start off with the Pelicans in this first segment since we're already talking about them. So, yeah, we'll be doing that. All right, like I said, we're going to switch it over. We're going to do Pelicans this segment. We're going to do NFL news next segment. Third segment, we'll do NBA games from yesterday. And then fourth segment, we'll do anything else going on in sports. Derrick Rose signed with the Timberwolves, so it's going to be a little interesting thing to watch out for, and we'll be making my picks for tonight's games. For this segment, since we're going to be talking about the Pelicans, we might as well talk about their game last night with the Sacramento Kings, so let's get into it. All right, so New Orleans faced off with Sacramento in Sacramento yesterday. New Orleans won this one 114-101. You had Anthony Davis, who only played 23 minutes in this one again, left the game with an ankle injury, had 17 points, 5 rebounds, shot 7 of 11 from the field, 2 of 3 from the three-point line. Etuan Moore had 15 points, 6 rebounds, shot 7 of 14, 1 of 3 from the three-point line. Rajon Rondo, 6 points, 7 assists, 4 rebounds. Drew Holiday had 23 points, 8 assists, 3 rebounds, shot 9 of 17, 2 of 5 from the three-point line. Off the bench, you had Nikolai Mirotic, who's been on fire with this Pelicans team. 26 points, 10 rebounds, 10 of 12 shooting, 4 of 6 from the three-point line. And you had Ian Clark with 11 points, 3 assists, 2 rebounds, shot 5 of 11 and 1 of 3 off from the three-point line. As for Sacramento, you had Zach Randolph with 19 points, 5 rebounds, shot 8 of 17, 1 of 2 from the three-point line. Justin Jackson had 14 points, 3 rebounds, 3 assists. Sacramento actually have something with Justin Jackson. The guy's been playing not extremely well, but he's been playing well. He's kind of an under-the-radar rookie since, like this rookie class, all right? This rookie class is probably the best in years. Okay, you got Lonzo Ball, Jason Tatum, Lauri Markkanen, Ben Simmons. All right, yes, I know Ben Simmons got drafted last year, but nonetheless, he's still a rookie, okay? You got him, Josh Jackson, De'Aaron Fox. I got to be missing someone. Dennis Smith Jr., a bunch of them. All right, I might just have to talk about the rookie class in the fourth segment. But like I said, Justin Jackson's been having a quietly good rookie season, but no one's just talking about him because there's just too many other good rookies in this league right now. So you got that. Kosta Koufos, he had 6 points, 10 rebounds. Kosta Koufos is like I don't know. I don't get Kosta Koufos. Kind of a weird NBA player. You had De'Aaron Fox, who left the game with a strained back, I believe it was, had 2 points, 1 assist, and 5 minutes of play. Bogdanovich did not shoot the ball well at all. 0 for 6 from the field, 0 of 3 from the three-point line, 4 rebounds, 3 assists, 0 points. Skal Labissiere, 14 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists, shot 6 of 12 from the field. And then let's see anything. Oh yeah, Buddy Hield, 20 points, 5 rebounds, 7 of 18 shooting, 4 of 11 from the three-point line. Buddy Hield is a weird player, right? Coming out of Oklahoma, people thought he'd be like the next Steph Curry. That's what people call him Trae Young too. Trae Young is good, but how efficient is he actually? All right, his shooting percentage is pretty high. I think like 45% or something around there. But the dude does take plenty of shots. So I mean, the more you take, the higher percentage is gonna go. All right, that's what they taught us with tests. All right, whenever we got tests in class, always hope there's a bunch of questions because then when you miss some questions, you're still gonna have a decent score if there's enough questions being asked. All right, but either way, yeah, Trae Young, I don't know, he's all right. But as far as Buddy Hield goes, really inconsistent. You never really know what he's gonna do or how well he's gonna do it. It just depends. Like I just say, you just never know. But anyways, Frank Mason, he had 16 points, 6 assists, shot 5 of 10, 1 of 2 from the three-point line. Frank Mason's also been pretty good for the Kings too. Missed a bunch of the season with an injury, but he's been back ever since. He's been playing well. So either way, the Pelicans won this one 114-101. So let's talk Pelicans right now. All right, how good truly are the Pelicans? I think they can get a couple of games against the Rockets in a series. All right, I really do. They're that good, I think. Against the Warriors, could they take it 6 games? I don't know. I just think the Warriors are that good. So let's see. They'd be having to play the Spurs in the first round if the season ended today. All right. It's looking like Kawhi's going to be back this month. And with Kawhi back, do I even think that the Pelicans could beat the Spurs? Yes. Of course, that only depends on Anthony Davis being healthy. I mean, the guys came out 2 games in a row with injuries, left both games early. That's kind of nerve-wracking too. If you're a Pelicans fan, you got to be pretty much walking on, what's the saying? Walking on eggshells or something like that. So yeah, I think so. I don't even get that either because when the eggshells just crush every time you walk, I don't know, maybe that's where it hurts. But either way, all right, Pelicans fans got to be walking on eggshells. I'm not even sure if that's the right saying, but either way, all right, the dude's gotten hurt the last 2 games. I don't know what to call it. It's pretty much, it's not like, I guess it's like a sign almost. Like, you just hope the guy doesn't get hurt to where he's got to miss the rest of the season. All right, we already got Boogie tore his Achilles. I mean, just imagine if that team loses Anthony Davis too. I don't know. We got to figure out a way to make a Band-Aid big enough to where he can't get hurt at all or something like that. Because, like, it's just, he's a huge part to this team. He's building himself a nice little MVP campaign right now. Dude's been, I think the night before he scored like 41 points, I believe it was, had like 17 rebounds. He's been playing lights out all year, and that's why this Pelicans team is playing so well. I mean, you got guys like Drew Holiday stepping up too. Drew Holiday's assist numbers the last week or so have been pretty high. He's scoring points. He's a nice little shooter on that team. You got Emeka Okafor, all right? Emeka Okafor, yeah, I think that's the guy that got drafted by the Charlotte Bobcats. There's not even a Charlotte Bobcats team anymore. It's the Charlotte Hornets, all right? Back when the Charlotte Bobcats were a thing, Emeka Okafor was drafted there, and boy, oh boy, did Michael Jordan ever have bad draft picks. I mean, Emeka Okafor, did he draft Kwame Brown for a little, he didn't have Kwame Brown play there for a little bit, or did Kwame Brown just get drafted to the Lakers? I know I just remember Kwame Brown with the Lakers, but I'm almost positive Michael Jordan drafted him. I'm almost positive he drafted Kwame Brown, and I'm pretty sure he drafted Kwame Brown because of the fact that Jordan saw him play one-on-one or whatever. He's like, oh yeah, this is the guy to draft. And he drafted Adam Morrison, all right, the Gonzaga legend. Adam Morrison, man, that's one heck of a player right there. Just crazy to think that. Just think about it in hindsight, all right? Adam Morrison got drafted number 1, or not even number 1. Was he number 1 pick? Either way, Michael Jordan drafted him really high. All right, just think of Adam Morrison in college. Is that worthy of a number 1 pick? I don't know. But either way, all right, Michael Jordan really just hasn't been successful drafting. But getting back to the point, Emeka Okafor, all right? Dude was playing overseas. I think he was playing like in China before he got back to the NBA again. And here he is, starting for the Pelicans. It's not like he's just in there for 10 minutes. He's playing 17, 15, 20 minutes a game. All right, he had 5 points, 6 rebounds. He's contributing. So that's good from him right there. You need that. Then you got Rondo, who's got all the playoff experience in the world. Dude's won a championship before. He knows what it takes. All right, knows what it takes to be great. And he's still playing pretty well. I mean, so he's not going to be giving you the numbers he was when he was with the Celtics. I mean, that Rondo's come and gone. I think Rondo's right now like 32, 33 years old. So he's just an old veteran in this league right now. But nonetheless, he still knows how to play basketball. He plays it well. You got Etuan Moore, who's been a nice little shooter for this team. And that's one thing, too. Last year, the Pelicans, they had terrible wing players, all right? I think Drew Holiday was out for most of the season. You had Solomon Hill, I think, was one of their starters, and I can't remember who else it was that was starting there, too. I think Etuan Moore was coming off the bench last year. I can't remember exactly, but I remember Solomon Hill was the one of the wing players for the Pelicans last year. It was just brutal. And then you got Nikolai Mirotic coming off the bench. Dude's a perfect 6-man for that team, all right? He's great with the Bulls, but the only reason he got traded away from the Bulls is because he's too good. You can't tank when you got Nikolai Mirotic on your team when he's out here dropping 25 a game almost. And that's a little over-exaggerated, too. Don't take me serious on that. You get what I was saying. You got you guys like Aaron Clark who step up. All right, so right now, I mean, the Pelicans are playing good basketball. But like I said, I do think they could beat the Spurs with Kawhi in the first round. All right, I think they're that good. no one can stop Anthony Davis right now. No one has any answer whatsoever. And one thing that was pretty encouraging too is that he said that he thinks that DeMarcus Cousins wants to be back in New Orleans. The Pelicans might have something. If Anthony Davis could stay healthy and DeMarcus Cousins can come back and pretty much, I don't know if he could be the same player that he was coming off of an Achilles injury, but if he could come back at least like 80, 85%, he's still a top center in this game. It's not like the center position is thriving or anything like that. He'd still be a top player, I think. All right, and I think that DeMarcus Cousins is going to come back just as good possibly too, because it's DeMarcus Cousins. He knows how to work. But either way, I mean, that's encouraging to hear if you're a Pelicans fan, all right? Anthony Davis, and there's been rumors about maybe he could be traded to a team like the Warriors, maybe the Celtics, or a bunch of other teams. I mean, if Anthony Davis is saying he wants to be there, then he wants to be there. And plus, if they're winning ball games like this, 38-26, I think they're a half game back of the Blazers? Yeah, half game back of the Trailblazers. I mean, why not? They got something special going right there. You can build around DeMarcus Cousins, Anthony Davis, and Drew Holiday. All right, maybe you're gonna need another. Maybe you're gonna you got Emeka Okafor, just move him to the bench. All right, maybe you'll need another 3-guard. Etuan Moore's been playing well, but I think you could do better. Like Etuan Moore's been good, but you always want to try and improve. All right, you always want to try and do that. Rondo, I'm not sure about Rondo where he fits with that team. I'm not sure. I think it was just a 1-year deal he signed with the Pelicans, or if I can't remember if he got traded or signed a 1-year deal. But either way, I mean, where does Rondo really fit in with his team going forward next year? Do you bring him back? I think you can bring Rondo back. Like I said, if there's a better option, you go and you get that. But I'm gonna say bringing Rondo back. You can have a team of Rondo, Drew Holiday, Davis, Cousins, and a different 3-guard. You can have Etuan Moore coming off the bench. You got Emeka Okafor coming off the bench, who, like I said, is productive, and you got Nikolai Mirotic. All right, the Pelicans, I don't want to say that they'd be on the Warriors or Rockets level, but they'd be a team good enough to consistently compete for that top 4 spot year after year, I think. And eventually, I mean, you are going to need to find a new point guard because Rondo's getting older. But either way, I mean, I like what they're doing right now. Like I said, getting back to it, yeah, I think they could beat the Spurs in a first-round matchup. I think they could beat Portland. I think they could beat Minnesota. I think they could beat Oklahoma City. And I think they could beat the Clippers, all right? I do think that the Pelicans are the third-best team in this Western Conference right now. I truly, truly believe that, all right? The same way I believe that the Sixers can go out and beat a team like the Cavs in the first round, yeah, I believe it. Will it happen? Probably not, but I believe it can happen, all right? But as far as the Pelicans go, yeah, for me, third best team in the West right now. No one can really stop them. Anthony Davis has been on fire. Just the only problem is he's got to stay healthy. If he can stay healthy, then this team can go out, win a series, and like I said, they can get a couple of games against the Rockets, I believe. At least a couple. They can get one in New Orleans and still one in Houston. I'm not saying they're going to go out and win a series, but nonetheless, they can win a couple of games. And as far as them against Golden State goes, I mean, I wouldn't get too ahead of myself. All right, I don't think they could beat Golden State. Maybe they could sneak away with one win there. Didn't they play each other in a series once? I think Anthony Davis, didn't he get one win against the Warriors? Maybe he could get two. Oh, I forgot. They didn't have Kevin Durant, though. So, I don't know. As of right now, though, I really like the way the Pelicans are playing. Do think that they're the third best team in the West. As far as in the league, they could probably be, fifth best team in the league. I don't know. It depends on what you like Cleveland. Right now, Cleveland and New Orleans do have the same record. I think I like New Orleans a little bit better right now. All right, LeBron James is on fire. Actually, we're going to talk about LeBron too, maybe in that fourth segment. But yeah, LeBron's been on fire. Cleveland's been playing all right. Beat Denver yesterday. We'll talk about that in the third segment. So I don't know, but I really do like the Pelicans as far as how they're playing right now. And like I said, I do think they could get a couple of games against the Rockets in the second round. Actually, yeah. If it ended today, they would be playing the Rockets in the second round if they could get past the Spurs in the first. So, I don't know. Maybe it'll all work out, but we'll see. But that's going to wrap it up for this segment. Next up, we're going to be talking NFL. We're going to be talking a whole bunch of stuff. Le'Veon Bell saying that he'll play under the franchise tag. We'll talk Seahawks. What are they doing right now? Making a whole bunch of moves as far as trying to rebuild and pretty much anything else going on. So stay tuned, and we'll be right back.
Are you looking for the very best NFL and college football podcast? Then check out the GSMC Football Podcast. Get the latest football news both on and off the field. From the NFL Draft to trades to the rumor mill to the NFL Combines, they got you covered. That's GSMCpodcast.com/football-podcast. Get updates on college rivalries, game day insights, and much, much more. It's football talk the way you want it. This show eats, sleeps, and breathes football. Don't forget to like them on Facebook and follow them on Twitter. Visit GSMCpodcast.com for more info.
All right, and welcome back to the GSMC Sports Podcast. We spent that first segment. We were supposed to be talking about the NBA games from Wednesday. We were going to recap those, but you know what? The Pelicans caught my eye. I wanted to talk about them, so we did that. We'll be talking about yesterday's NBA games in the third segment. This segment, we're going to be talking NFL. But before I get into that, just recapping what we did, like I said in the last segment about the Pelicans, I think they can get a first round series win. I think they can get a couple of wins against the Rockets. Don't think they can get past the Rockets, but nonetheless, I think they can get a couple of games. As far as the Warriors, not going to get too crazy. Warriors still the best team in the West, and I don't know, do people really think that the Rockets, there's people out there I'm sure that think maybe the Rockets are the best team, or the Rockets really have truly a shot to beat the Warriors in the playoffs, and I'm not one of those people. I do not think the Rockets can beat the Warriors. I don't see it. All right, yeah. And maybe it's just me just being blind to the fact of how good the Rockets are, but I don't see it. All right, yeah, they've won 17 in a row, but do we truly, honestly think, all right, think about it. The Warriors team that we've known for the last few years, all right, with KD now, obviously for the last couple of years now, this being the second, do we honestly think that the team in Houston with James Harden, Chris Paul, Clint Capella, you got Eric Gordon, those guys can go out and beat the team that the Warriors have. All right, think about how complete the Warriors are. Think about how deep the bench is. Think about how well they play. Think about how well they're coached. All right, and don't give me that, Steve Kerr's not a good coach. He's just playing with good players. You got to manage a whole bunch of egos out there. All right, so he's done well to do that. Do we truly think that this Rockets team can beat the Warriors? I don't know, but either way, that's up for you guys to think about. Your opinion. If you got one, send it out to the GSMC_sports Twitter. Let me know what you think. But either way, I'm not too sure. But like I said, this is going to be an NFL segment, so let's talk NFL. I was going to start off with Le'Veon Bell, but I want to talk about the 49ers for a bit. All right, I like what they're doing this offseason. They extended Marquise Goodwin, and I think that's a huge move right there. All right, Marquise Goodwin, he was a good player for the 49ers last season. All right, they took a flyer on him, see how well he could play. Dude was playing all right. Once Jimmy Garoppolo came in full-time, boom, Marquise Goodwin got even better. All right, I really like what the 49ers are doing. They're signing their players back, the ones that worked out, and they're going out trying to get other players too. All right, you locked up Jimmy G. You got Pierre Garçon locked up. You got Marquise Goodwin locked up. Now you got to go out and get an Allen Robinson type. And I see that people are saying that Allen Robinson could end up with the Bears. They could end up with a team like the Colts. I don't understand how if you're Allen Robinson, you're thinking, where do I want to play basketball at? All right, you got San Francisco. Let's go. You got San Francisco, you got Chicago, and you got Indianapolis. I'm only saying those three teams because those are the teams I've seen the most pop up as far as where he could possibly end up. Let's compare each team. All right, San Francisco looking like they got their quarterback for the future. All right. Got a young and up-and-coming defense, well-coached. Front office looks like they know what they're doing. All right. You got two other solid receivers, but if you're Allen Robinson, you go and you're automatically the number one there, and that's not up for debate or anything like that. Plus, you got great weather. All right. I'm telling you, California weather beats all weather outside of the state. All right. It just does. You can disagree, but it's true. All right. It's February or it's March. I mean, I think it's snowing in New York right now. I think they're having snowstorms. I drove to the podcast today with my window down. All right. It's nice out here. So there's that. Chicago looks like they might have their quarterback. You got to wait and see. He's got to develop some more. Got a new coaching staff. I like the hires that they made. Also have a young defense. Don't think it's as good as San Francisco's right now, but they just got to develop a little bit more. I think the defense might even be younger than San Francisco's. All right. You got a top 10 running back on that team. You got an explosive playmaker in Tariq Cohen. And same thing with San Francisco. If you're Allen Robinson, you go to Chicago, you're undoubtedly the number one receiver there. All right. I could be the number two there, to be honest. All right. You got that. Offensive line needs some work, but it looks like they're trying to fix that through the draft, and you got a nice little offensive line coach. All right. So Chicago could be a good team going forward, but it's going to take a couple of years before they can start thinking playoffs. All right. I think they'll be winning 7-8 games this season, but as far as truly competing for that wild card spot, it's going to take a little bit. So you got that. All right. Then you got Indianapolis. Indianapolis, I think, is the least favorable destination. All right. You do have Andrew Luck, but dude's hurt year to year. Is a top 5 quarterback in this league. Probably going to end up being, if he stays healthy, probably going to end up being one of the best quarterbacks in the league once Tom Brady and all those guys retire. You know what? Andrew Luck, when he's healthy, I'll take him over Breeze. I'll take him over Stafford. I'll take him over over Rivers, all those guys right now. All right, over Roethlisberger, over the majority of quarterbacks in this league, just not over Rodgers and I guess not over Brady. But as far as talent goes, and I don't know. Tom Brady's doing good right now, so I guess yeah, you got Luck if he's healthy. Might have Saquon Barkley if he falls to them in the draft, which I don't think he will. I think either Cleveland takes him at number 1 or the Giants get him at number 2. So you got that. And then you got T.Y. Hilton there. Allen Robinson, is he the number 1 receiver with T.Y. Hilton there? I think they could split it, but I don't think there's any true number 1 receiver. All right, is Allen Robinson better than T.Y. Hilton? I'm not sure. I think they're at the same level right now. As far as the defense goes, defense hasn't been fixed in, how long is, about a decade and a half, I guess you could say. I don't see any reason to ever go to the Colts, to be honest, all right? Front office doesn't really know too much about what they're doing. I mean, you do got some Eagles guys in there as far as coaching staff. Maybe they could start shaping it up, making it a little bit better. But as far as it all goes, I mean, if you just listen to whatever I said, it sounds like San Francisco is the most logical destination to go to. All right, it is. There's no reason to go to a team like Chicago or Indianapolis when you can end up in San Francisco, a team who could be competing for the playoffs with or without Allen Robinson. It really does not truly matter. All right, so if I'm Allen Robinson, I'm taking my talents to San Francisco, but we'll have to wait and see how it all ends up. All right. But as far as that goes, I mean, I do like what San Francisco's doing, getting back to Marquise Goodwin. I think it was a good idea to re-sign him, give him the 3-year extension. You don't got to pay him too much either. Marquise Goodwin knows what his value is in the NFL, and so did the 49ers, so it worked out there. So it's going to be interesting to see what they got going on. As far as the draft goes for San Francisco, it's either going to be Quentin Nelson, the guard out of San Francisco, but I doubt he falls that far to number, 9? I think they're going to end up going cornerback or possibly linebacker. Might have to go linebacker because Reuben Foster's trying to figure out what's going on over there as far as legal matters go. So there's that. All right, but as far as everything else goes, Le'Veon Bell said on his Instagram live yesterday that he will play this season under the franchise tag. He won't sit out or anything like that. But he said he is going to be sitting out training camp, OTAs, all that stuff. And I feel like that's a nice little trade-off there. You guys don't want to give me what I'm paid for? I'll just come since you're just paying me for the season or whatever. Because there's no reason for him to go through training camp or OTAs. I mean, it's Le'Veon Bell. He didn't go through it last year. Still was one of the best running backs. Was the best running back in the league, I should say. All right, but as far as it all goes, I mean, I think that unless Pittsburgh could franchise him another year after this, I don't see Le'Veon Bell being back in Pittsburgh next year. All right, if they're not going to pay him, because I guess they offered him $13 million, he wants at least $14.5. I mean, if they're not going to compromise and come down to whatever, I guess because Le'Veon Bell, there's not really much compromise coming from him. I'll give the Steelers that. All right, it's pretty much Le'Veon Bell's not really trying to work out a deal. He's pretty much he's not negotiating. He's telling them, this is what I want. Either you pay it or you don't. All right. And the Steelers, I guess you could say, they're trying to compromise a bit. He wants $14.5. They're offering him $13. I mean, people say, oh, it's just another $1 million. Yeah, $1 million is a lot of money. Let me tell you, right? I've never seen $1 million in my life, but I imagine if I had $1 million now, I'd be able to pay off all my school tuition, all that, and pretty much be set for the next couple of years, at least I feel. The next 10 years, probably. Just pretty much based off of it all. So, I mean, yeah, $1 million is still a lot of money, even though these guys are going to be getting $13, $14 million. All right, but I just really don't see Le'Veon Bell being back in Pittsburgh after this year. I don't know. He says he wants to be back in Pittsburgh, but it's just a matter of, does Pittsburgh want him back enough to where they're going to pay him? All right, because like I said, Le'Veon Bell hasn't changed his mind. He's trying to shape up the market a little bit for running backs. Highest paid running back in the league right now is Devontae Freeman at $8 million a year. All right, Le'Veon Bell, if he gets $13, $14 million a year, you're going to be seeing guys like Ezekiel Elliott getting more than that, David Johnson getting more than that. Let's see, who else? Leonard Fournette. All right, all those guys. This isn't just for Le'Veon Bell, I don't think. I think he's trying to pretty much bring the running back market back up and help those other guys get paid too. Because, I mean, $8 million for a running back, you barely even get a backup quarterback at that rate. All right, backup quarterbacks usually go for around $10 million if they're good. All right, look at it this way. All right, the best backup quarterback is probably on average getting around $10 million a year. The best running back is getting $8 million. All right, and I don't even consider Devontae Freeman the best running back in the league. Right now, Todd Gurley's making like 4.5, I think 4.3. Leonard Fournette's making 6. All right, so it's not running backs really aren't making that much. You're having backup quarterbacks make more money than them. So I think Le'Veon Bell, he does need to pretty much put his foot down and say, you know what, I need to get paid like this. So that way it opens up doors for all the other running backs because the running back position is coming back. You're going to get Saquon Barkley, who's going to get drafted in the top 4 for sure. He might even get drafted number 1. You got the LSU running back who could possibly go in the first round too. I mean, running backs are coming back in style, and that's another thing too. running backs are coming back in style because quarterbacks stink. Quarterbacks are bad now. They are bad, let me tell you, all right? And not like, we still got some top quarterbacks. We still got your Russell Wilsons, your Matt Staffords, all right? You got your Aaron Rodgers. But then after that, there's a bit of a drop-off. I would not put Matt Ryan in that category as a Stafford, Wilson, or Rodgers. I think those are the top 3 quarterbacks. And I'm talking after the Bradys, after the Breezes, after the Rivers, after the Mannings, okay? Those guys' time are coming to an end, probably 3 years at the most. After that, that's where the new age quarterbacks is coming out, all right? And that's crazy to think. In 3 years, Aaron Rodgers is going to be 37 years old. I think Rodgers could play well into his 40s, to be honest, all right? Drew Brees is going to be doing it. He's 39, looking for a 2-year deal at least a 3 years. So he's going to be playing into his 40s. Tom Brady getting better as he gets older. And Eli Manning, I'm not sure how old he's got to be like 34, 35. Eli Manning came in the year before Rodgers did, I believe. Either way, though, I mean, the quarterback position, it's going down. I mean, you look at the quarterbacks in the championship games this year in the NFL. AFC Championship, you had Blake Bortles. NFC Championship, you got Foles and Keenum. Obviously, Foles is a pretty good quarterback. I think he's good just because he's a product of what's around him. Keenum, same thing. I think he's good because he was a product of what was around him. And same with Bortles. I mean, Bortles didn't have to do too much. Hand the ball off to Leonard Fournette, have the defense take care of the rest. Just don't turn the ball over. All right. Now we're going to see teams building more complete teams. The NFL, I think, is going to get so much better now. All right. It's not going to be the same teams over and over. Now you're going to have teams trying to build up defenses, get good running backs, get good receivers, right? Quarterback position is starting to mean less and less, I think. So eventually it's going to be a more balanced NFL, I think. But we'll see about that. I mean, like I said, Le'Veon Bell needs to get paid so we can change this market for the running backs going on. And then other thing I want to talk about too is you got the Seattle Seahawks. What is Seattle doing right now? All right, it's not like I necessarily disagree with whatever they're doing, but I just want to know what the plan is. Like, what are they trying to accomplish here? They're going to be cutting Richard Sherman. It's looking like going to be cutting Jeremy Lane. All right, top 2 cornerbacks right there. I saw that Earl Thomas, he's available for trade at the right price. Cam Chancellor, not sure if he's going to be back next year. All right, traded Michael Bennett. Like, what are they doing? I think, honestly, like, it's probably just a culture change. You have a lot of outspoken guys on that team. And I have no problem with players who are outspoken. I have no problem whatsoever. But for some reason, in the NFL, it seems to be a problem. In the NBA, you can have players outspoken. All right, and it seems to be welcomed. Like, I think NBA fans and the NBA in general, like, welcomes those players to speak their minds and talk. All right, so it's more accepted there. And it's, like I said, it's encouraged to do that in the NBA. But in the NFL, it's like you want to speak your mind. It's like you're a distraction in the locker room. Pretty much the NFL is be quiet and just play. All right, that's it. Don't voice your opinions or anything like that. And I don't know. It's just with the NFL, I guess it is a problem. Like I said, I have no problem with players speaking their mind, but for some reason in the NFL, it's just a problem. All right, if you're a bad team and you got players speaking their mind on whatever topic or whatever, whether it be the locker room or whatever's going on outside of the football field, I mean, if you're losing, then it's a distraction. All right, I'm not sure if that's just the media's fault because they try and portray it in that way. Because like I said, the NBA doesn't portray players speaking out in that way. It's more encouraging. You get guys like Greg Popovich speaking out. All right, Steve Kerr speaks his mind. LeBron James speaks his mind. Everyone in the NBA speaks their mind, whether it be problems going on outside of basketball or if they just don't like a player. They're not afraid to say it. All right. And it's encouraged. But for some reason in the NFL, it's just like, nope, you're a distraction. So, I mean, I think right now it's just the Seahawks are trying to do a rebuild. A little mini rebuild and trying to change the culture. You already got the 2 biggest parts of a rebuild too. You got the quarterback, you got the coach. This team, like, maybe they're going to try and fix up the defense through the draft, but you're giving away a lot of talent. Yeah, Richard Sherman's coming off of a torn Achilles, and I do understand get rid of Richard Sherman, all right? I mean, if they're getting rid of him because he speaks his mind, I don't really like that, but if you're getting rid of him because he's 30 and coming off of an Achilles injury, I get it, all right? I get it completely. But then you're looking to trade Earl Thomas, you traded Michael Bennett, all right? And you're cutting Jeremy Lane. I don't know. I don't really, like, what's the plan as far as the defense goes? At one point in time, this defense was the most feared defense in the league, all right? The Legion of Boom. All right, you go into Seattle, you're not winning games. This team is not feared anymore. And we saw that by when the Rams pretty much beat the heck out of them. What was it, like 43-7 or something like that? Just absolutely destroyed them. So, I mean, I think it's really more just a culture change that's going on in Seattle right now, and they're just trying to rebuild too. So we'll see what's going on. I mean, now we got to wait and see when they actually cut Richard Sherman, Jeremy Lane. We're going to see if they actually do trade Earl Thomas. So it's going to be interesting to see. Maybe a team like Dallas. I mean, Earl Thomas did say if he was available for Jason Garrett to come and get him. obviously he wants to be there, so maybe Jason Garrett and Jerry Jones are trying to work out a deal over there for Earl Thomas. Who knows? But that's going to wrap it up for this segment. Next up, we're going to be talking about the other NBA games from last night. Won't be talking about the Pelicans and Kings game from last night since we talked about it in the first segment, so stay tuned, and we'll be right back.
Check out the show that's built on the MMA, from the UFC to extreme cage fighting. They got the fights covered. Check out the GSMC MMA podcast. Get the latest news on past or upcoming fights. Join us as we talk to and about some of the biggest names in the MMA, past, present, and future. When it's the fight game, there's just one show to check out. GSMCpodcast.com/MMA-podcast. Don't forget to like them on Facebook and follow them on Twitter. Visit GSMCpodcast.com for more info.
Right, and welcome back to the GSMC Sports Podcast. So far today, what have we talked about? We've talked about Anthony Davis and the Pelicans, talked about how good they actually are, and then last segment we talked about a bunch of different NFL news. Ooh, it's a tongue twister there, but yeah, we did that. For this segment, we're going to be recapping yesterday's NBA games, so let's just get into it. First up, we had the Utah Jazz heading over to Indiana, facing off with the Pacers, and Jazz blew the Pacers out of the water in this one, right? Jazz won this one, 104-84. Let's see, for Utah, you had Derek Favors with 7 points, 7 rebounds. Joe Ingles, 11 points, 10 assists, 4 rebounds, shot 4 of 8 from the field. Rudy Gobert had 23 points, 14 rebounds, shot 10 of 14. Ricky Rubio, 18 points, 7 assists, 6 rebounds, shot 8 of 18 from the field, did hit a 3 in this one. Donovan Mitchell had 20 points, 6 assists, 3 rebounds, shot 6 of 15, 4 of 10 from the three-point line. And then off the bench, you had Jay Crowder with 16 points, 4 rebounds, shot 7 of 13, 2 of 6 from the three-point line. All right. As for those Pacers, you had Thaddeus Young with 7 points, 8 rebounds. Bojan Bogdanovic had 13 points, 4 rebounds, shot 4 of 10 from the field. Miles Turner had 24 points, only 4 rebounds in this one, shot 10 of 14 from the field, did hit 1 3. Corey Joseph, he had 12 points, 6 rebounds, shot 4 of 11 from the field, 1 of 3 from the three-point line. And then Victor Oladipo had 13 points, 7 assists, 3 rebounds, shot 6 of 19 from the field, and did not hit a 3. All right, so just Indiana just really didn't play well at all in this game. All right, not too much bench production or anything like that. Just pretty much struggled the entire game. And Utah, I mean, that's a good team right there, 35-30. Let's see I wonder how far out they are of the AC. They can't be that much. I think they're only at least a couple of games. At the most, actually, a couple of games. Let me double check right here. Maybe only a game back of the. It should be the Clippers, or who's the 8th seed right now? All right, so the Clippers are the 8th seed right now. Utah is actually tied with them as far as games back and all that. Let's see. It's just LA is only up at the 8th seed right now because of winning percentage, and then you got both the Nuggets and the Jazz with the same 35-30 record. So right now the Clippers are 34-29, 1 loss, 1 Jazz win, 1 Nuggets loss, and the Jazz take over that 8th spot. So going to be interesting to see how it all plays out. But seeing the Jazz in the playoffs would be pretty nice. Next up, we had the Toronto Raptors facing off with the Detroit Pistons in Detroit, and boy, oh boy, what a game did we have here, all right? This game ended in overtime, and the Raptors won this one 121-119. You had Fred Van Vliet. Is it Van Fleet or Van Vliet? All right, I think it's Van Vliet. He hit the game-winning 3 with a couple of seconds left in overtime, right? Nice little shot from the corner by him. You had DeMar DeRozan, all right? DeMar DeRozan with, actually, let me get through the stats, and I'll talk about what DeMar DeRozan did at the end of the fourth, all right? So for the Raptors, you had Serge Ibaka with 4 points, 2 rebounds, shot 2 of 8. Norman Powell had 17 points. Let's see, 17 points, 4 rebounds, 7 of 12 shooting, 3 of 5 from the three-point line. Jonas Valanciunas had 14 points, 11 rebounds, shot 6 of 13, 1 of 4 from the three-point line. Kyle Lowry's kind of weird to me, I guess. It just really, I don't know. You expect more out of him as far as scoring, but maybe this is just his game right here. He had 15 points, 15 assists, 7 rebounds, 4 of 8 shooting, 3 of 7 from the three-point line. Then you had DeMar DeRozan with 42 points, 6 assists, 4 rebounds, shot 16 of 28 from the field, 2 of 6 from the three-point line. For the Pistons, you had Blake Griffin with, he had 31 points, 4 assists, 3 rebounds, shot 12 at 21 from the field, 3 of 6 from the three-point line. Reggie Bullock, 21 points, 4 assists, shot 7 at 13, 3 of 6 from the three-point line. Andre Drummond, not the best shooting night from him, only 5 of 14 from the field, 10 points, 21 rebounds. Ish Smith had 14 points, 7 assists, hit a couple of big shots at the end of that fourth quarter too to keep the Pistons in it. And we had Luke Kennard, who got the start on this one, 9 points, 6 rebounds, 3 assists, shot 3 of 8 and 2 of 3 from the three-point line. All right, so DeMar DeRozan, right? The Pistons take the lead. I think it was because Blake Griffin, he hit an and one, hits the free throw. They're up by 1 point, and then you got DeMar DeRozan gets the ball. He's just flying down the court, and you're thinking, like, you could see it too if you're watching the game. You could see the Pistons left a wide open lane for him. And it's just like, wait, is someone gonna get in his way? Is someone gonna stop the ball? Or are they just gonna let him run through? He gets past everyone, right? Anthony Tolliver, poor old Anthony Tolliver, right? I'm not even sure how old the guy is. Dude looks like ancient, but either way, tries to get in the way, jumps up, tries to block the shot, and DeMar DeRozan just dunks all over him. Just ridiculous. Gets fouled too. Hits the free throw after that. And it was just crazy to see, right? The call was the best part about it from, I think it was Mark Jones, I think the commentator was for ESPN. Pretty sure his name is Mark Jones. Either way, it was a nice call. Pretty much like an all-around, just perfect little moment in that game. From the call to the dunk to the just to everything. Time left and all that. But either way, they went to overtime. I mean, these teams, I don't even think these teams scored within the first 3 minutes of overtime, or at least near the first 3 minutes, right? Overtime was ugly. It was really ugly. But nonetheless, I mean, Raptors pulled it out, all right? Tough game in Detroit. Detroit's a pretty good home team. Detroit's been struggling as of late, but either way, Raptors are winning games they should. And like I said, they won 121 to 119. As for the next game, though, we had the Memphis Grizzlies facing off with the Chicago Bulls, and Chicago won this one 119 to 110. You had for Memphis, JaMychal Green with 11 points, 8 rebounds. Dillon Brooks, he had 29 points, 10 of 18 shooting, 5 of 9 from the three-point line. Memphis might actually have something there with that guy. He's a pretty good player on that team. You had Marc Gasol with 17 points, 7 assists, 6 rebounds, shot 4 of 11 from the field, 1 of 4 from the three-point line. And good old Ben McLemore, 17 points, 7 rebounds, 2 assists, 5 of 11 shooting, 3 of 7 from the three-point line. Ben Mac, man, that was supposed to be the King's savior right there, all right? But as we know, the Kings aren't really good at drafting. Did pretty well this season, all right? You got Justin Jackson who's been contributing. De'Aaron Fox been playing well. Frank Mason's been playing well. And Kings fans and the radio guys, they're all very excited about Harry Giles, too. One guy who hasn't played at all this season. Either Harry Giles is the best player that I don't know about, or just Kings fans are overhyping him big time. I mean, the dude blew out his knee, just hasn't played in like a couple of years, at least I feel. All right, I'm not sure really what's the big deal about him. Maybe it's just I haven't seen enough about him, but we'll see how it all ends up next year when he comes back. But either way, getting back to the point, Chicago Bulls, you had Bobby Portis with 15 points, 10 rebounds, 6 of 12 shooting, 1 of 4 from the three-point line. Lauri Markkanen, 22 points, 6 rebounds, 8 of 14 from the field, 2 of 6 from the three-point line. Chris Dunn had 21 points, 9 assists, 3 rebounds, shot 6 of 11, 1 of 3 from the three-point line. You had Zach LaVine with 21 points, 5 assists, shot 8 of 14, 1 of 4 from the three-point line. You had Justin Holiday with 14 points, 4 rebounds, shot 5 of 5, 4 of 4 from the three-point line. Once again, Chicago Bulls won this one 119 to 110. The tanking little competition that these teams got going on is heating up and getting crazy. Let me tell you, all right? You got let me see who the worst teams are in the league right now. The worst team in the East is Atlanta with 20 wins. I mean, all right, so there's 3 teams in the East: Brooklyn, Orlando, Atlanta at 20 and 45. Bulls are 22 and 42. Let's see in the West. You got the Memphis Grizzlies were 18 and 46. The Phoenix Suns are 19 and 47, and then you got 2 more teams in the West that are 20 and 45. So in total, I believe you have 5 teams that are 20 and 45. You have 5 teams that are 20 and 45, and then you got the Grizzlies and the Suns who have the worst records. Grizzlies being the worst record, Phoenix being the second worst record. All right, it's going to be interesting to see. One of these teams is going to miss out on that top 5 draft pick, or even top 4, I guess you could say. 2 of the teams will miss out top 4. One's going to miss out top 5. All right, if you're one of these teams, you really want to end up in the top 4, so you can end up with a guy like DeAndre Ayton or Luka Doncic, Marvin Bagley, or even a Michael Porter Jr., right, who just played today. I believe everyone's got to check his stats, see how he did. But nonetheless, I mean, you really don't want to miss out on a top 5 pick in this draft. As for the next game, all right, thought I'd be smart, thought I'd pick the Bucks to beat the Rockets, but Rockets aren't losing. Rockets won this one 110 to 99. For Houston, you had Clint Capella with 10 points, 8 rebounds. Chris Paul had 16 points, 11 assists, 5 rebounds, shot 5 of 12 from the field, 1 of 6 from the three-point line. James Harden, he had 26 points, 6 assists, 5 rebounds, shot 8 of 20 from the field, 3 of 10 from the three-point line. Off the bench, you had Eric Gordon with 18 points, 6 rebounds, shot 6 of 12, 4 of 8 from the three-point line. Gerald Green had 7 points, shot 3 of 10, 1 of 5 from the three-point line. Then you had Luke Mbamute with 11 points, 7 rebounds, 4 of 6 shooting there. For the Bucks, you had Giannis Antetokounmpo with 30 points, 7 rebounds, shot 12 of 20, only 1 assist in that one. Chris Middleton had 18 points, 12 rebounds, 5 assists, shot 6 of 13, 3 of 7 from the three-point line. Eric Bledsoe had 15 points, 5 rebounds, shot 4 of 11, and then off the bench you had Jabari Parker with 10 points, 3 assists, 5 of 12 shooting, and Sterling Brown with 15 points, 5 rebounds, shot 6 of 12, 3 of 6 from the three-point line. Once again, the Rockets won that one, 110-99. All right, Rockets are a good team, but like I said earlier, I'm just not sure that they can beat the Warriors in a series. I just don't see it happening. All right, I think now we've just got so excited because there's a team that's just as, I don't want to say just as good, but I mean, there's a team that's showing that maybe, hey, they could possibly do something, but I just don't see it. All right, I don't. And as far as the Bucks go, they're going to get bounced in the first round, I think, unless they end up matching up with a team like the Raptors, which they very well could. Right now, they are the 8th seed. Toronto's the 1 seed. If it ends that way, I mean, Milwaukee does match up well with Toronto, so we can see how it all ends up. It'd be Boston playing Miami and Philly playing the Cleveland. And I don't know, man. I just don't like the matchup for Cleveland between Philly, but we'll see. You have Washington playing Indiana, but we still got time. I think we got a little bit more than 20 games left in the season. As for the next game, you had the Orlando Magic facing off with the LA Lakers, and the Lakers pulled off the close win here, 108-107. For the Magic, you had Aaron Gordon with 28 points, 14 rebounds, shot 11 of 20 from the field, 4 of 6 from the three-point line. Jonathan Simmons had 9 points, 7 assists, 5 rebounds. Nikolai Vucevic with 24 points, 6 assists, 12 rebounds, shot 11 of 18, 1 of 4 from the three-point line. DJ Augustine had 9 points, 8 assists, shot 3 of 10 there. Evan Fournier with 11 points, 2 rebounds, 2 assists, shot 5 of 6 from the field in that one. And then for the Lakers, you had Julius Randle, 12 points, 11 rebounds, shot 6 of 11. Kyle Kuzma with 20 points, 10 rebounds, shot 9 of 16 from the field. Brook Lopez, listen to this. All right, the guy is a center, nearly 7 feet tall, 27 points, 12 of 18 shooting, 1 of 4 from the three-point line, 3 assists, 0 rebounds. All right, 0 rebounds. How are you a center and you don't have a rebound in a game? All right, played 35 minutes, not 1 rebound from him. All right, that doesn't sound too good to me. Yeah, I get it. You had 27 points, but your job isn't to be a scorer. Your job is to get rebounds too, and he had 0 rebounds. All right, that's why I say the Lakers need a guy like DeAndre Jordan. DeAndre Jordan can put up points with a guy like Lonzo Ball, but nonetheless, DeAndre Jordan can get rebounds too. Lonzo Ball, he had 16 points, 6 rebounds, 5 assists, shot 6 of 16, 4 of 13 from the three-point line. Started to take more and more threes. You had Kentavious Caldwell-Pope with 10 points. Let's see, off the bench, you had Isaiah Thomas, 13 points, 9 assists, 3 rebounds, shot 5 of 12, 3 of 6 from the three-point line. Once again, Lakers won that one, 108-107. I really hope the Lakers end up with a guy like DeAndre Jordan. I really think that's the perfect fit for him there, all right? Because like I said, he play off a guy like Lonzo Ball, and plus you have a rebounder, not someone who's going to put up 27 points and now have 1 rebound in the game. But as for the final game of the night, we had the Cleveland Cavaliers facing off with the Denver Nuggets, and it was a close one, but Cleveland pulled it off 113-108. For Cleveland, you had Larry Nance with his second start for the Cavs, 13 points, 13 rebounds, 6 of 10 shooting. Pretty much Larry Nance is what Cleveland wanted Tristan Thompson to be this year, but I don't know. Tristan Thompson's just soft, possibly. But either way, like I said, Nance had 13 points, 13 rebounds. LeBron, he had 39 points, 10 assists, 8 rebounds, 15 of 25 shooting, 5 of 8 from the three-point line. George Hill had 7 points, 5 assists, shot 3 of 6 there. Rodney Hood, 15 points, 2 rebounds, shot 6 of 13, only hit 1 3 in this one. And then for the Nuggets, you had Paul Millsap with 12 points, 5 rebounds, shot 4 of 8 from the field, 2 of 3 from the three-point line. Wilson Chandler only 3 points in this one. Nikola Jokic with 36 points, 13 rebounds, 6 assists, shot 12 of 14, 2 of 3 from the three-point line. Jamal Murray had 11 points, 7 rebounds, shot 5 of 10, 0 of 3 from the three-point line. And you had Gary Harris with 18 points, 4 rebounds, 7 of 18 shooting, 4 of 6 from the three-point line. Chauncey Billups had the call in this game. He was talking about something interesting too, how Paul Millsap pretty much needs to defer to Nikola Jokic now. I'm going to start calling him Jokic. I guess it's not Jokic, it's Jokic. So yeah, Jokic. And that's true. Paul Millsap is a good player, but Jokic is by far the best player on that team, and it's not close. Millsap needs to pretty much realize that. He's got to defer to Jokic now, pretty much play through him, because like I said, you play through your best players. So, I mean, we'll see how it all ends up. But as for Denver, I mean, what are they right now? I think they're right outside the 8th seed. percentage points back as far as winning percentage goes. That's why the Clippers currently got that 8th spot. But nonetheless, it's going to be a tight little race right there too. And as far as the Cavs go, I mean, actually, we'll talk about LeBron and the Cavs in the next segment. We'll talk a bit about how well LeBron's been playing this season. So that's going to wrap it up for this segment. Next up, we're going to be talking about whatever else is going on in sports and going to be making my picks for tonight's NBA game. So stay tuned, and we'll be right back.
Are you looking for help for your fantasy football team? Check out the GSMC Fantasy Football Podcast. Get today's best advice on who to start, who to sit, even who you should draft. From sleeper picks to red-hot lineups, they got it all covered for you. That's gsmcpodcast.com/fantasy-football-podcast. We'll cover traditional leagues, dynasty, PPR, even IDP leagues. When you need fantasy help, there's just one show to hit up. Don't forget to like them on Facebook and follow them on Twitter. Visit gsmcpodcast.com for more info.
Alright, and welcome back to the GSMC Sports Podcast. So far today, we've talked about Pelicans, we've talked about NFL news, talked about Le'Veon Bell saying he's going to play under the franchise tag, talked about, what else we talked about? We talked about the 49ers a bit, and we talked about what the Seahawks are currently doing, so we did all that. For this segment, though, we also recapped the NBA games from Wednesday, and for this segment, we'll be talking, we'll talk a bit about LeBron James, talk about the season he's having. We're doing that. Going to mention it. Also, right now, Missouri, as I'm recording this, just finished their game with Georgia, lost in the SEC men's tournament. All right, Michael Porter, I think this was his first game with Missouri. Dude took like 17 shots, only hit 5 of them. I think he had 12 points, I think it was, and there's 7 rebounds. So obviously he's a little bit rusty. I think Missouri's going to end up making the tournament either way, so we'll see more of him there. But Missouri had chances, all right. They were lost 62-60. Missed a couple of open shots. Michael Porter had with 20 seconds left, I believe it was, had an open three. Could have hit, missed that. And I can't remember who took the last shot from Missouri, but missed a wide open three too. So she couldn't take advantage of the chances. Georgia now advances, and then earlier too, you had Alabama beat Texas A&M at the buzzer. I think it was 71-70. Colin Sexton hit the game-winning finger roll layup. All right, the sweetest finger roll you will ever see. Either way, he hit that shot, scored 27. Now they play Auburn tomorrow, which is Friday at 10 o'clock. So it's going to be a fun one to watch, too. What's the rivalry game between those two teams? What is it called? Iron Bowl. It's called the Iron Bowl. All right, it's like the Iron Bowl, but in basketball. All right, but either way, that's tomorrow. I can't remember exactly who Georgia's playing, but either way, they'll be playing tomorrow, too, I believe. So we'll have that going on, too, with the whole NCAA and stuff like that. I feel like that the tournament isn't really being hyped up too much. All right, no one's really been talking about, at least from my perspective, right? I could be wrong, just not paying attention enough. I feel like no one's really been talking about the conference tourneys, or no one's really been hyping up March Madness enough. Like, there's not enough hype around it, at least I feel personally. So, I don't know, maybe it's just I haven't been paying attention enough, and I will be watching too when it comes around, but I just feel like there's not, and maybe it's just because of the fact that there's not one, one team that you think can go out and beat everyone, all right? This could be the year where we have a 5, 6, 7, 8 seed, possibly even a 10 seed win the tournament. All right, maybe even we get lucky and we see a 16 seed knock off a number 1 seed. That would be absolutely crazy if that happened. All right, absolutely. Imagine the worst team in the tournament knocking off one of the best teams in the tournament. It would just be wild. Maybe it could possibly happen because, like I said, there's not one clear-cut favorite in this tournament, at least I think. All right, so we'll see what's going on there. But like I said, it just really hasn't been promoted enough. I just think there's not enough hype around it. Maybe that has to do more so with the fact with what's going on as far as the FBI investigation and stuff like that, too, in college basketball. Maybe that's just what it is. But just like I said, don't feel like it's been hyped up enough. All right, but let's talk about LeBron James for a bit. Made some comments yesterday after the game saying that he's playing the best basketball of his career, paraphrasing it a bit, said something like that. And that's just crazy to think about. The dude's in his 15th season, all right? 15 years in the NBA, and he's having the best season of his career. The dude's pretty much getting near triple-double every game he plays. All right, his stats are always that high. He probably usually has no less than 7 assists, 7 rebounds on a good day. On a bad day, I guess he'll have around 6 assists, 6 rebounds, somewhere around there. But the dude is near a triple-double every game. Dude's been on fire this year. And if there's any way Cleveland is going to make it to the finals this year, it's going to be on his back, obviously, as we know. All right, LeBron's got to elevate himself even more for this team to make it to the finals. It's going to be tough playing Toronto, Boston, or even possibly Philly in that first round. Like I've been saying, it's going to be tough for them. But, I mean, with the way LeBron's been playing this season, I mean, I could see it happening to where they somehow make it all the way out to the finals. They'll get swept by the Warriors, no doubt. Maybe they could get like a gentleman's sweep, one game out of there. But either way, I mean, I don't know. It's going to take a lot for LeBron to get that team to the finals, all right? But either way, it's just crazy to see, like I said, it's crazy to see that the dude's been having his best season of his career. Like, he hasn't gotten worse. He's having a Tom Brady-type career. With every year that comes, he's getting better and better. So maybe, I don't know, maybe he'll play till he's 40. Probably will, too. And like I said, I've said a few times before on the show that he does want to play with his son when he gets out into the NBA. And I guess his son is really good, too. So, I mean, just imagine him playing against his son or whatever. That'd be pretty crazy. But either way, LeBron been a monster this year. All right, what else we got going on? Oh, yeah, DeMarco Murray got cut by the Titans. All right, I didn't understand the move. DeMarco Murray was supposed to make nearly $7 million this year. You cut him. Now Derrick Henry is your clear-cut number one running back, as he should be, all right? They should have made Derrick Henry the number one running back of the team last year, like way earlier than what they did, all right? DeMarco Murray, yeah, he's good, but he's starting to go down a bit, and Derrick Henry is just that much better right now. So they should have pulled the plug on that a while ago. I mean, not as far as cutting him during the season, but as far as giving Derrick Henry more of the carries than they were getting DeMarco Murray. But either way, DeMarco Murray's a free agent. Not sure where he ends up. Maybe he can end up with a team like Seattle. Possibly they need a running back. Obviously, DeMarco Murray's not going to be getting that much money either. Possibly a team like Miami. I know Adam Gase does like to have two running backs pretty much a little dynamic type thing. Let's see, who else needs running backs right now? At least who needs a DeMarco Murray on their team? I don't know. I don't think there's too many teams out there that truly need a running back. Maybe the Jets, possibly. They need a running back. They have tons of cap space, so they can just pretty much give DeMarco Murray whatever they feel they can. Could probably do that. So maybe like a team like the Jets, the Dolphins, or even the Seahawks, like I said. I don't know. Is there anyone else that needs a running back? NFC or the AFC South? Does anyone need a running back there? Texans got theirs. Lamar Miller. Tennessee obviously has theirs. Jacksonville has theirs. It's looking like the Colts are going to end up drafting one. Let's see. NFC North. The Browns need one, but they should just take Saquon number one if they need a running back. Pittsburgh doesn't. Baltimore, they don't really do that. Cincinnati, no. NFC East, no. NFC South, no. Maybe the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I can see DeMarco Murray in Tampa Bay. I think that might actually happen. If I had to make a pick right now, I'd say DeMarco Murray ends up in Tampa Bay. So, yeah, there's that going on. Let's see what else we got going on in sports. I think that's pretty much all that we need to talk about right now. Is there anything else notable? Oh, yeah, Derrick Rose. He's on the Timberwolves now, believe it or not. This is his last shot, all right? If he plays well in this little run, they're making to the playoffs, and he plays well in the playoffs, maybe he could see himself sign somewhere else next season. I think he'll just go to a team that's trying to tank. That way you sign a guy like Derrick Rose that'll put butts in the seats and sell tickets. But either way, you'll still be losing games, so it's the best of both worlds there. I think Derrick Rose, there's something in his Adidas contract where if he plays next year, he makes a certain amount of money from there too. So he needs to end up on some team to play in order to make that money. But we'll see what ends up happening there. But like I said, Derrick Rose, not sure what to think of the guy, all right? Not sure really what difference he makes in Minnesota, if he makes him better, if he makes him worse. Honestly, you could probably make more of an argument that he'd make them worse more than he'd make them better as far as it all goes. But it's going to be interesting to see. It's like the Minnesota Timberwolves right now, right? You got Tom Thibodeau, you got Jimmy Butler. He's going to be back for playoffs, it's looking like. You got Derrick Rose there. You got Taj Gibson, right? All we need is Joakim Noah and maybe Mirotic to get the band back together. But we'll see. So it's going to be interesting to see how Derrick Rose fits in with that Timberwolves team with this little time we got left. But now let's make my picks for tonight's NBA games. All right. So first up, we got the Brooklyn Nets facing off with the Charlotte Hornets in Charlotte. Nets aren't really trying to tank. It's just they're a bad team. Charlotte's been a pretty decent team since the All-Star break. 18-16 at home. The Nets are 8-24 on the road. I'm going to go with the Hornets in this one. I think Kemba Walker is going to go for at least 25-7. And Dwight Howard should have himself a nice little game here, too. So I got the Hornets winning that one. Then we got the Philadelphia 76ers facing off with the Miami Heat. These teams always put out good games between the two, all right? Joel Embiid, Hassan Whiteside kind of have like a little personal rivalry going on right now. The Sixers are 15-18 on the road. Miami is 18-13 at home. I think Philly's currently favored in this one. I'm going to go with the Heat in the I think I'm going to go with the Heat in this one. I think they're going to be able to pull it out. Last time the Heat won, I think Dwayne Wade hit the game winner over Ben Simmons. I don't know. This is a tough game. I kind of want to go with the Sixers. I'm gonna pass on that one. I'll come back to it. Then we got the Celtics facing off with the Timberwolves. This game's in Minnesota. Minnesota is 25-7 at home. Boston is 22-9 on the road. Obviously, no Jimmy Butler. He's been out for a while. Probably going to be back for playoffs. Boston, Kyrie's going to be playing in this game. He'll be back. Derrick Rose is going to be making his debut tonight, too. I'm going to go with the Celtics in this one, all right? Just the Timberwolves struggle against the top teams in the league. That's really my main basis as to why I'm picking the Celtics. Just the Timberwolves struggle against these good teams. So I'm going with the Celtics in this one. Then we get the Suns facing off with the Thunder. I'm going to go with the Thunder. Suns are trying to tank. Thunder are favored by 10 in this one. They're good home team, 21-11 at home. Suns are 10-23 on the road, so not much to talk about there. I got the the Thunder winning this one. Then we got the Warriors facing off with the Spurs. Easy pick here. I got the Warriors, all right? 25-7 at home. Spurs are 14-19 on the road. Really no reason to pick against the Warriors here, so I got the Warriors. All right, let's go back to the Heat and Sixers game. I'm gonna go with Philly in this one. Philly's been playing good basketball as of late. Think they're going to be able to knock off the Heat. The Heat got the last win, so I'm going to go with the Sixers getting this one. So I got Philly winning that one. Let's see. Any upset picks going on tonight? No upset picks. I'm picking all the favorites tonight. So I got the Hornets beating the Nets, the Sixers beating the Heat, Celtics beating the Timberwolves, Thunder beating the Suns, and the Warriors beating the Spurs. So that's going to wrap it up for today's show. Today we talked about the Pelicans. We talked about the Seahawks, 49ers, and who else we talked about in that segment? We talked about someone else. I can't remember exactly who else. Oh, Le'Veon Bell. Third segment, we recapped Wednesday's NBA games, and then for this segment, talked about a bunch of other things crossing my mind as far as sports go, and we made my picks for tonight's NBA game. So thanks for listening to the GSMC Sports Podcast. As always, I am your host, Jesse Tapia. Let's see, we'll be back tomorrow, so stay tuned, and we'll talk to you later.
You've been listening to the Golden State Media Concepts Sports Podcast, part of the Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network. You can find this show and others like it at www.gsmcpodcast.com. Download our podcast on iTunes, Stitcher, SoundCloud, and Google Play. Just type in GSMC to find all the shows from the Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network, from movies to music, from sports to entertainment, and even weird news. You can also follow us on Twitter and on Facebook. Thank you, and we hope you have enjoyed today's program.